Hey everyone, Elliot here with another first aid class. This is good knowledge review experience for anyone and everyone. You have the first aid knowledge in your head. You also need the right tools. Today we're talking about first aid kits. Those of you who signed up for my class each got a cool fanny pack with some first aid supplies in it. We stuck to 10 supplies to keep it simple for shopping and for everyone. First thing I want you to do is get to know your fanny pack. So, check out all the zippers, open them up. Let's take everything out. Alright. And from the front too here, there's stuff, I put stuff in 2 different pockets at least. Not everyone's fanny pack is the same, so that's why I want you to check it out. Yours might not be the same as mine. Alright, so we got 10 items. Triangular bandage, which is good for many different things, or it could also be used to put pressure on a wound. That's 1. Alcohol wipes to wipe small bruises and cuts to clean them. That's 2. Roller gauze to hold dressings in place. 3. Various size band-aids, including steri strips. There is a question at the end, so remember to listen for what you use steri strips for. Medical tape to help hold dressings in place. Your emergency numbers. That's 5 things. Gauze to put on wounds to help stop the bleeding. 6 things. A cool pair of little foldy scissors to cut things to the right lengths or cut off clothes if needed to get to a certain injury. Tweezers for taking out splinters. And very important, the 10th thing, we have gloves. Always, whenever you're doing first aid, please put on gloves first. It helps keep you safe and helps keep the person you're doing first aid on safe too. Very important, always wear your gloves. Alright, so that's 10 things. Let's talk about these numbers here. Can you see that? 911 in case of an emergency. Ambulance, fire, or police. This is not mentioned in the video, but if there is a real emergency, call 911. If someone has swallowed something that they shouldn't have, you can call poison control. Poison control will be able to tell you exactly what to do depending on what was swallowed. And then if you just have regular medical or COVID-19 questions in the world we live in now, you can call 811 and talk to a nurse about those questions. Okay, some other things in the video that Nick talks about that are not in your first aid kit, but you could add them when you get home, or you would just, maybe you need to improvise at times. That is, improvisation is using what you got at the moment. So there are no cold packs in this first aid kit, but you could use a bag of frozen veggies from your freezer. There's no trauma wrap or pressure bandages, but you could use a sweater or clothing or your triangular bandage to help stop bleeding. There is no tensor bandage or antibiotic ointment. You can add those if you have them around your house. And there is no breathing barrier in this first aid kit. You should be CPR trained to do that anyways, so unless you are CPR trained, you shouldn't be using a breathing barrier. You shouldn't be giving rescue breaths. All right, for the end, after you watch the video, I want you to answer these questions, please. What is the first thing you do with a cut or scrape before putting on a bandage? What else could you use for a splint to hold a joint in place? How do you treat for shock? Shock is very important. You must deal with it in as quickly as possible in most first aid situations because shock can be life-threatening. What do you do if it's an emergency? Good question. You want to get other help, don't you? All right. And what is the first thing to do to a first degree burn before you cover it, before you dress it with something? The first thing you do to a first degree burn. All right. Also, what are steri strips used for? That's my last question. All right. For those supporting, you can stop the video at 12 minutes and 30 seconds because after that, it pretty much is just an advertisement. There's some advertising through the whole thing, but it really becomes an advertisement after 12 minutes and 30 seconds. We get all the important first aid info in that first 12 minutes and 30 seconds. And warning, there is fake blood in the video. All right. So listen carefully. Do your best to answer the questions at the end. And put all your stuff back in your first aid kit the way you will remember, where you remember to find it. All right? So however you took it out, you put it back so you know where everything is. I carry this in my car. It is because I am CPR trained, it is a mini mask that I can take out of these baggies, and it's got different valves and stuff to help keep me protected. There's also a pair of gloves and a wipe in here. I carry that in my car in case I come upon any emergencies. Of course, I would call 911 if it's an emergency, and then I would start doing my first aid. All right, enjoy. Hope you learn lots. This is great stuff to have in the memory to be able to help someone in the future if they ever need it. All right, thanks. Peace out.